Deadlines. My name is Emily, a 28-year-old marketing manager at Sutton Enterprises, and that night, I was working late, trying to finish a presentation for a major client meeting scheduled for the next day. Just as I was about to wrap up, my phone buzzed with a message from my boss, Alex Sutton. "Can you meet me in my office? There are a few things I want to discuss before the big presentation." My heart raced at the thought of spending more time with Alex. He was not just my boss. He was a charismatic leader with piercing blue eyes and a smile that could light up a room. Although we maintained a strictly professional relationship, there was an undeniable chemistry between us. I often found myself daydreaming about what it would be like if things were different, if we could cross the line from professional to personal. I gathered my things and made my way to his office, my pulse quickening with every step. The door was slightly ajar, and I knocked lightly before entering. Alex looked up from his desk, a warm smile spreading across his face as he gestured for me to take a seat. "Thanks for coming in, Emily," he said, his tone casual yet serious. "I know it's late, but I wanted to go over the presentation together." As we reviewed the slides, I couldn't help but steal glances at him. He was dressed in a crisp white shirt, the sleeves rolled up to reveal muscular forearms, a clear indication of his dedication to fitness. I forced myself to focus on the task at hand, but the air in the room felt charged with something unspoken. "Your ideas are fantastic," he said, leaning back in his chair, his eyes locking onto mine. "I really think we're going to impress them tomorrow." "Thank you, Alex. That means a lot coming from you," I replied, trying to maintain my composure. There was a moment of silence, and in that brief pause, I felt the tension between us shift. The conversation turned personal as we began to share our experiences and aspirations, laughter filling the room. I discovered that Alex had dreams beyond the company. He wanted to travel the world, experience new cultures, and live life to the fullest. "I've been so focused on work for so long," he confessed, his gaze intense. "Sometimes I forget to enjoy the little things." As the clock ticked past midnight, the office felt more intimate, our laughter mingling with the soft hum of the city outside. I could feel a magnetic pull toward him, a connection that was impossible to ignore. "Emily, he started, his voice dropping to a whisper. "I've really enjoyed this time with you." I swallowed hard, my heart racing. "Me too, Alex. It's nice to take a break from the usual office talk." Just then, my phone buzzed, breaking the moment. It was a text from my best friend, Liz, checking in on me. I quickly typed a response, but when I looked up, Alex was staring at me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. "Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt," I said, feeling flustered. "No, it's fine," he replied, his voice steady. I've been thinking about how hard you work and how talented you are. You deserve to be recognized for your efforts." His words made my cheeks flush. "Thank you, Alex. That really means a lot." The atmosphere shifted once again, the playful banter giving way to something deeper. Suddenly, the distance between us seemed non-existent, and before I could fully comprehend what was happening, Alex leaned in closer. "Emily, I can't help but feel drawn to you," he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. My heart raced. This was the moment I had secretly wished for, yet it felt terrifyingly real. "I feel the same way," I admitted, my voice trembling. In that instant, he closed the gap between us, capturing my lips in a gentle but urgent kiss. The world outside faded away, and all that mattered was the connection we shared. It was electric, like a current running through my body, igniting every nerve ending. The kiss deepened as we melted into each other, our hands exploring, and the tension that had built up over the months finally erupted. Time seemed to stand still as we lost ourselves in the moment, the worries of the world outside forgotten. But as reality seeped back in, a wave of uncertainty washed over me. This was my boss, my career, and I knew that crossing this line could change everything. "Alex, we shouldn't be doing this," I murmured, pulling back slightly, my heart racing. "I know," he replied, his breath warm against my lips. But it feels so right. Just as I was about to respond, we heard a sudden noise from outside the office. Panic flooded my senses. What was that? I whispered, my eyes wide with fear. I don't know, he said, his voice low and tense. We need to be careful. Quickly, we both straightened up, trying to regain our composure as we heard footsteps approaching. It was one of the security guards making his rounds. We exchanged a look, both of us acutely aware of the precarious situation we were in. Let's just play it cool, Alex suggested, his tone calm as he tried to lighten the mood. If anyone asks, we were just going over the presentation. The guard passed by, and we both breathed a sigh of relief, but the thrill of what had just happened lingered in the air, the tension still palpable between us. As I left the office that night, my mind was a whirlwind of emotions. What had just transpired felt both exhilarating and terrifying. I knew our professional lives would never be the same, but I couldn't deny the excitement coursing through me. Over the next few days, things felt different at work. Our interactions were laced with an undeniable tension, but we both tried to maintain our professionalism. The kiss was unspoken, a secret that hung heavily in the air. But it didn't take long for the consequences of that night to unravel. One afternoon, as I was preparing for a meeting, I overheard two colleagues gossiping about Alex's personal life. Whispers of an impending divorce had circulated, and I felt a pang of guilt wash over me. That evening, I found myself standing in front of Alex's office once again. This time, I was nervous, my heart racing as I knocked on the door. "Come in," he called, and I stepped inside, the familiar scent of his cologne filling my senses. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. "Can we talk?" "Of course," he replied, his expression shifting to one of concern. "Is everything okay?" I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of what I needed to say. "I overheard some gossip today about your personal life," I began, my voice steady despite the butterflies in my stomach. "Is it true? Are you really getting a divorce?" He ran a hand through his hair, a gesture I had come to recognize as a sign of stress. "It's complicated, Emily," he admitted, his tone serious. "I haven't officially filed, but things haven't been good for a while. I just didn't want you to get caught up in the drama." "I appreciate you telling me," I replied, my heart aching for him, "but I need to know if this is something we can pursue. I don't want to be a secret or a distraction." Alex looked at me, his gaze filled with a mixture of emotions. "I want to explore this, Emily, but I also need to be cautious. There's so much at stake, my career, my family." "I understand," I said softly, feeling a pang of longing, "but I can't pretend that I don't want you. I'm drawn to you in a way I can't explain." He stepped closer, his eyes searching mine. "Then let's take this one step at a time. I don't want to rush into anything, but I also don't want to lose this connection." As we stood there, the tension palpable, I felt a sense of hope. Perhaps we could navigate this complex situation together, allowing our relationship to blossom amid the uncertainty. In the weeks that followed, we carefully balanced our work lives with the budding romance that flourished behind closed doors. Every stolen moment felt electric, filled with anticipation and longing. The world outside faded away as we navigated the complexities of our feelings, growing closer with each passing day. But I knew that challenges lay ahead. The whispers around the office continued, and I worried about the impact our relationship would have on our careers and reputations. Rumors can spread like wildfire in a corporate environment, and I couldn't shake the fear that our secret might not remain hidden for long. During our late-night meetings, the boundaries between professional and personal continued to blur. Each time Alex would brush against me or catch my gaze, my heart would race, and I'd be reminded of that fateful night when everything changed. It felt like we were living in two worlds, one where we were just boss and employee, and another where we were two people drawn together by undeniable chemistry. One Friday evening, as the work week came to a close, Alex suggested we grab dinner at a nearby restaurant to celebrate the successful completion of the client presentation. "Just you and me," he said with a mischievous grin. let's take a break from the office." I felt a flutter of excitement as I agreed. The thought of spending more time alone with him set my mind racing with possibilities. As we walked into the restaurant, a cozy, dimly lit space filled with the soft murmur of conversation, I felt a surge of happiness. For the first time since our kiss, it felt like we were just two people enjoying each other's company, no titles, no responsibilities. Over a candlelit dinner, we shared stories and laughter, our connection deepening with every passing moment. The restaurant's ambience created the perfect backdrop for a night filled with intimacy and vulnerability. Alex leaned in closer, his voice low and inviting. "Emily, I've been thinking a lot about us. I want to make this work, but I need to be honest about everything." "Honesty is key," I replied, my heart pounding. "What do you need to tell me?" "I'm still in the process of sorting out my marriage," he confessed, his expression serious. "I don't want to rush into anything without being certain. I care about you, and I don't want to hurt you or put you in a difficult position." I appreciated his honesty, but a part of me felt a pang of anxiety. "I understand, Alex, but I also don't want to wait forever. I want to be with you, but I need to know that you're ready to commit fully." He nodded, taking my hand in his touch sending shivers down my spine. "I promise. I'll figure things out. I want to be with you too." As our relationship continued to blossom, I couldn't ignore the tension building around us in the office. Whispers grew louder, and I sensed that our secret was on the verge of being exposed. Colleagues began to notice our chemistry, and it wasn't long before rumors started circulating. One afternoon, while I was working on a project, my phone buzzed with a message from Liz. "I heard some gossip about you and Alex. Is it true? You're not dating your boss, are you?" My heart sank as I read the text. I knew I had to come clean to Liz. I typed out a response, my fingers trembling. "It's complicated. We're figuring things out." I didn't want to lie, but I also didn't want to divulge too much too soon. Liz replied immediately, her concern evident. "Just be careful, okay? I don't want you to get hurt." Her words echoed in my mind as I tried to focus on my work, but the looming threat of our secret being uncovered gnawed at me. A week later, during a team meeting, the tension reached a boiling point. Our supervisor, Rebecca, called out the growing rumors in a tense exchange. "I've heard whispers around the office about inappropriate relationships. We need to maintain professionalism here. If there's any truth to this, it needs to be addressed." My heart raced as I glanced at Alex, whose expression was a mix of concern and determination. I could see the wheels turning in his mind, and I knew we had to confront this head-on. As the meeting adjourned, Alex pulled me aside. "Emily, we can't let this go on. We need to address this before it spirals out of control." "I agree," I replied, anxiety gnawing at me. "But how do we approach it? We don't want to give anyone more reason to talk." "We'll be open about our feelings, but we also need to set boundaries. I'm still navigating my marriage, and I don't want to jeopardize my career or yours," he said, his voice steady. The following week, we called a meeting with Rebecca and the HR department to address the situation. As I sat across from them, my heart pounded in my chest. Alex started, his voice confident. "I want to address the rumors surrounding my relationship with Emily. While there's a personal connection between us, I want to make it clear that we've kept our professional duties separate." Rebecca looked skeptical, her brow furrowed. "You need to understand that workplace relationships can lead to complications, especially with your current marital status." "I'm aware of the implications," Alex replied firmly, "but I'm committed to ensuring that my personal life doesn't interfere with my professional responsibilities." I felt a surge of pride at his words, knowing that he was willing to stand up for us, even in the face of scrutiny. In the weeks that followed, our relationship underwent a transformation. The office dynamics shifted as we navigated the challenges of being a couple in a professional environment. Colleagues became more aware of our connection, but we tried to maintain professionalism in our interactions. However, it wasn't long before the rumors took a toll on my emotions. I felt the weight of judgment from my peers, and it affected my work performance. The pressure was intense, and I often found myself doubting if I had made the right decision. One evening, I confronted Alex about how I felt. I don't know if I can handle the gossip and the scrutiny. It feels like everyone is watching us, waiting for us to fail. I confessed, my voice shaky. I understand, Emily, but we can't let their opinions dictate our relationship. He replied, taking my hands in his. I want to be with you, and I'm willing to fight for us. As we continued to navigate the complexities of our relationship, I found strength in our connection. We established clear boundaries at work, ensuring that our professional responsibilities remained our priority. The more we worked through our challenges together, the deeper our bond became. Eventually, Alex approached me with a revelation. I've decided to file for divorce. I can't keep living a lie, and I want to fully commit to you, Emily, he said, his eyes sincere. My heart soared at his words, but a pang of worry crept in. Are you sure about this? It's a huge step. I've thought about it for a long time, he assured me. I want to be with you without any complications. With his decision made, we began to plan our future together. As the months went by, our relationship evolved. With Alex officially divorced, we found comfort in being open about our feelings for each other. The gossip faded, replaced by a sense of normalcy as we embraced our new life together. We learned to balance our personal and professional lives, supporting each other through challenges and celebrating successes. Our connection only grew stronger, and I couldn't help but feel grateful for that late-night meeting that had changed everything. Looking back, I realized that sometimes the most unexpected moments can lead to profound transformations. Alex and I had faced obstacles,